when I was a student in Los Angeles, the main guy in our clique was a guy who was teaching Gil Gerard. That's Gil Gerard, aka Buck Rogers. I remember once we were walking around Los Angeles, and we basically passed this innocuous building, and we stopped, and the guy said, "You know who rehearses in there and who lives in there?" And I'm like, "No." Wishbone Ash. Do you know those guys? And I'm like, yeah, but I know some people that revere them. So then, in Musicians Institute, basically there would be get-togethers. Musicians would have kind of little, get-togethers where they'd invite people over and have some coffee or have some beer if you like beer, or Parmesan's California wine if you wanted some of that. And so I remember going to this place one night, and I kind of went over and I would do the rounds. I had friends all over Los Angeles. I come from a small family. My bro lives in America. It's just me. Grandparents went fairly early. So it's kind of, just me really. And you got to make friends. It's the way it is. So I make friends. And so I was invited to this little get-together. I walked over there and went in and did the rounds, as you usually do. And I came across this guy sitting on the sofa, and I introduced myself, and he said, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Mark." "And where are you from?" "From Ireland." And he said, "Hi, my name is David." And as we were talking, he was playing guitar simultaneously, and he was basically playing some of the chords from Not of This Earth by Satriani. And basically, we just started talking about Not of This Earth and Satch and all that stuff, but not, ironically, Surfing with the Alien. He was kind of primarily focused on Not of This Earth. So anyway, that was David Koresh, believe it or not. Shortly after that, cookies were produced and juice. So I had some homemade cookies and some juice and left. The reason is I had two great friends from Argentina, Diego and Paz. Paz arrived in Los Angeles with no English. So basically, we had a kind of exchange. I would teach him English, and he would teach me Spanish. There's parts of Los Angeles, if you cannot speak Spanish, English is no good to you. So they were really, really great guys. Diego and Paz were super, super guys. So I would go over there and have a cup of cortado. And I love Argentina. I love my favourite author, Jorge Luis Borges, comes from Argentina. I love the gauchos, Pampas and Andes and the culture, and the very intriguing fact that 60% of the DNA of Argentinians is Italian. So speak Spanish, but mainly Italian. So we had some great chats, and they were very, very kind. Some nights I'd come over and they'd say, "Hey, we're going out for dinner." I said, "Okay, fine. See you later." And I said, "No, come." But, again, financially constrained, being very young and kind of, on a shoestring budget. And I said, "Sorry, I can't." And they said, No, we'll pay. And many, many nights, emaciated Mark went for a fantastic lunch with my Argentinian friends, Diego and Paz. Great guys, super, super, super guys. So we would, a lot of the quartal stuff that I do, a lot of that came from, some of the literature that Pats had. He was into that kind of stuff. And, Leo Brouwer and stuff like that. So we'd have these kind of information exchanges. And they were into kind of New Age philosophy. I'm into it a little bit. I like Deepak Chopra. Missed him when he came to Cork. But hopefully, Deepak, love you, and we'll hopefully see you again at some point. I think you're fantastic. And so we would, discuss stuff, and great fun. They were incredible fun. We had, things were very serious in Los Angeles, but these guys were like so much fun. Great fun. We had great times. And basically, had they known that I just came from a little get together with David Koresh. It's an intriguing one, but that's Los Angeles. It's the Forrest Gump analogy. Not Willy Wonka, but it's the Forrest Gump one. Like, you never know who you're going to meet in Los Angeles. And I've never found that anywhere else. You can walk around and never meet anybody. But in Los Angeles, you could meet someone famous after, 30 steps. It's quite an amazing place for that. So, Diego and Paz, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your kindness. And, maybe I'll see you again. And maybe Deepak, maybe next time I'm in town or next time you're in town, maybe we can meet. Thank you for listening.